Well, hello again, friends. I wanted to show something I've been working on, which shows that you can vibe code, no code, code with LLMs, whatever we're calling it, in anything, including Emacs, and some cool projects I'm working on that I would just like to have a discussion about if this would be useful to anyone. All right, on Emacs there is a way to read EPUB books, so ebooks without DRM, and it's called nov.el, which I am embarrassed to say I have used for some time, and it took me a long time to figure out, but why is it called nov-mode? Well, it's nov.el, so it's actually nov-el, way to read. Novels. Okay, anyway, but it's really focused on reading only. Here's how it looks. All right, yes, let's bring up Children of Ruin by Adrian Tchaikovsky because it's awesome. Okay, so I will start out just by typing N to go next section, next section, next section. At some point, your sections become chapters, or P for previous, or T for table of contents, tab to go wherever you want to go, and things that you would expect if you're at all familiar with the info system in Emacs. This works exactly the same way. You don't even have to think about it, about how you navigate. So I'm here, I'm at a chapter, or at the table of contents. I go to chapter 2, and then I hit L to go last. So that brings me to the last place. It's very handy for following footnotes. You go to the footnote, you type L to go back, or you could just click on the reference on the footnote, but it's very nice. Just very simple, and you get your book and chapter titles here. It works with the Emacs bookmarking system, so you can bookmark specific spots within a chapter that you're reading. It remembers where you last were when you open it up, so it's just great. It's just really pleasant, and I really prefer it to my e-reader. I've got a couple of old Kindles lying around. I've got a Kobo Color that I when I use the e-reader, that's what I use. But for the most part, it's like context switching. You know, I'm already here. I want to read right now, and it works for me. So I really like it. However, as I said before, it focuses only on reading, and it does a great job of it. However, there are times where there's much when I'm doing serious reading that I want to do highlighting and so forth, and it doesn't do those. So I created, going back to Gitty, I created nov-x to extend it, and this is not up on a public site yet. It's not. I'm not going to bundle it into a patch and propose that it be added to nov-el, because it's very opinionated, I think. And when you look at this, you're going to wonder, why am I simply not using org-noter or something like that if all I want is highlights and annotations? And the reason is because org-noter is just one of those things. Org-noter doesn't really fit the way I think about this. And it scrolls your notes up as you move things. It's not focused on EPUBs. It works at PDFs and probably other things as well. And I just wanted what I wanted, and we're in an era where it's easy to create that. So when I open this thing now, if we were to look at all of the various modes that are in here, like a Control M, I'm primarily in nov mode, but there is also, or there should be, nov-x, a minor mode, nov-x. So I created this, and this is something that gives me highlighting and annotation capability, and this is what it looks like. Okay. So I'm in a given chapter and I want to highlight something. So I select it and it's highlighted. Now what this did is it actually created an org mode file in the same directory as the EPUB. So it's a sidecar notes file. And I can hit O to open that. And there it is. And it has all the context it needs. So it's going to be very, very robust about finding exactly the word that you marked as an annotation or a highlight or whatever, because it keeps some degree of forward and backward context, as well as kind of a UUID link into it and a link to the EPUB itself in the notes file. So this is something that even if you move the EPUB somewhere else, it's using org's ID system, so it will be found, and it doesn't just go by path. Paths can change. Okay. Now, additionally, I could say bragging. Let's say for some reason I don't know what bragging means, and I want to make a note about it. Maybe I'm learning English. So I would say boasting. And now I have a little annotation symbol that will take me straight to that. And because this is an org file, I can say anything and add to it. And when I go and highlight, I'll see that I have it. Okay. So did it save that? Yes, it saved that. Is it showing me? It's not showing me yet. Okay, that's something I'll have to work on. Okay, and I actually do use this a lot when I'm reading in Spanish, which I'm doing a bunch of right now, because I will come across terms that I don't know or interesting turns of phrase. And so I mark them, and I can hit a T here and say, is it a quote or is it vocabulary? Well, it's vocabulary, so it gets a special face to show that. And then I can do annotations inside of highlights and say, oh, let's turn that into a vocab. I poorly selected this, so I should have selected the whole word anyway. But you see what it does. It takes whatever you highlighted and then shows that as the icon. So you can jump back and forth very easily. You can go to your file, to your notes file, and at any point click on that and go straight to the relevant highlight or annotation in the book. And then because things are categorized with a kind of this open categorization system, you can also say write an Emacs list function to move all of your vocab items into a flash note system like org drill or org FC or something like that, or the integration with Anki, and use those as flashcards now, as well as gathering your quotations and doing something different with those. It's just a very flexible, nice system, and I am finding I'm making lots of use of it. There's a next thing, though, that once I started working on that, I thought, you know what would be really great is if I had a good kind of overall library system. So I created librarian. And what does that look like? Well, I have this thing called librarian list, and it will show the last thing that I opened was this. By default, it sorts by descending last read. And this mode is simply a derived mode off of tabulated list mode. And with tabulated list mode, you get all these, the ability to sort by all these columns just kind of automatically. Let's go back to this last read bit. You have the ability to say, okay, let me go over to this column because I want it to be a little bit wider and make that wider. You could probably do like a Control U10 for that. Yeah. And anything you want. And then the last column will not, will just be as wide as your monitor can allow it to be. So I put the tags, which there could be many, many tags on a book. And then, and then that works really nice. And then I created a query system for it. So I have queries like currently reading nonfiction, or let's say Mesoamerica books. And they are simply, yes, it has tags, tag Mesoamerica minus type PDF. So these are only showing EPUBs because this librarian now catalogs PDFs as well, or clear all the filters, etc. And you can build those filters on the fly and then save them as shelves, right? So it's all right. Now, once I had that, I thought, oh, now there's this higher level, which if you saw my video a while back about doing research using Andre Caparti's concept of the Council of LLMs, you'll see that I was looking into organizing research and doing syntopic reading across things. And to do that, I thought, well, now I need another yet higher level. So I've kicked off something called Researcher to help with that, to help organize groups of books with authors from different time frames who wrote in different languages with different cultural perceptions and biases in terms of concepts that they were writing about, right? So the concept of colonialism or a concept of justice and equality that has had really different interpretations through the years, throughout cultures, throughout practice versus idealism, and so forth. And so you could group any of those things, just make up your own ideas that of how to categorize it, and then it leverages Librarian, because Librarian keeps all kinds of metadata, and so it's just like quickly spiraling out into a real rabbit hole. But it would be interesting to me to see if at least nov-x, with its highlighting and annotation and probably integration with Librarian, is interesting, or if you have your own ideas, or if I'm really completely missing the boat on OrgNoter or something else that's not denote or Rome. I also use denote, but these are all kind of interleaving things, and I'm trying to figure out how they all fit together. So please help me out. All right. This was a quickie. Hope it was fun, and talk to me. Bye.